We've all had moments where life knocks us down. Maybe it's the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, a mistake you can't take back, or a dream that slips through your fingers. In those moments, it can feel like the world has burned down around you, like everything you worked for is gone, and you're left with nothing but the ashes. But those ashes are not the end, they are the beginning. There's a reason the symbol of the phoenix has lasted for centuries, because it represents a truth that every single one of us needs to hear. Failure, pain, and loss are not your destruction. They're your rebirth. The fire you're in is burning away what no longer serves you. It's clearing out old habits, old beliefs, old versions of yourself that you've outgrown. And yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels unfair. But it's also preparing you for something stronger, something greater. The phoenix rises not in spite of the ashes, but because of them. There have been times in your life when you've fallen before. You thought you couldn't get back up. You thought you were finished. Yet somehow you did get back up. Maybe it took weeks or years, but you rose, and when you did, you weren't the same. You were stronger, tougher, and more resilient. That's the phoenix within you. It's the part of you that refuses to quit. It's the whisper inside that says, keep going. Rising doesn't mean you come back overnight, wings blazing. Sometimes it's one small step at a time. Sometimes it's learning to breathe again. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed when everything in you says stay down. But each step forward is proof that you can and are rebuilding. Falling does not define you, rising does. Every time you rise from the ashes of your own setbacks, you build resilience. You build courage and character. The people who rise are not the ones who never fall, they're the ones who choose not to stay down. When life knocks you down, you get to decide if this is the end of your story or the beginning of a new one. You can let the ashes bury you, or you can use them as the foundation for something new. The phoenix within you doesn't wait for the perfect time, doesn't wait for permission. It rises because that's its nature. If you're stuck in the ashes of yesterday, remember, you're not broken. You are becoming. This is a chance to rise, not just to who you were before, but who you're always meant to be. The fall may have scarred you. The fire may have tested you, but the phoenix within is ready. It's waiting for you to stand, to lift your head, to take the first step back into life. And when you do, you'll discover that everything you thought would break you is what made you unstoppable. We're always being tested in ways we don't always see coming. It's a sudden change at work, a strained relationship, an unexpected news that rattles your world. It's in these moments that most of us either break under the weight of our emotions or try to numb them away. But there's a better option. It's called emotional agility. It's the strength to bend without breaking, or to move with life's challenges instead of being crushed by them. Now, if we're being honest, most of us were never taught how to work with our emotions. We were taught math and science and history, but rarely how to sit with disappointment, or how to handle anger without letting it explode, or how to embrace sadness without drowning in it. Instead, we either push emotions away, pretending they don't exist, or we get swept away by them. Emotional agility is the balance in between. For a moment, picture a tree in the middle of a storm. The stiff, rigid tree that refuses to bend, well, that's the one that snaps. But the tree that sways with the wind, that bends with the storm, it survives. It grows stronger because it endures. That's what emotional agility does for us. It doesn't remove the storm, but it gives us the flexibility to weather it. So how do we build emotional agility? Well, let me share 3 guiding steps. First, acknowledge without judgment. Too many of us label emotions as good or bad. Happiness is good, anger, bad. But emotions are just signals. They're data, not directions. When you feel anxious, it might be telling you that something matters deeply to you. And when you feel frustrated, it could mean your boundaries are being crossed. Instead of pushing feelings down or letting them control you, pause and say, this is what I'm feeling. What is it trying to teach me? And then second, create space between you and the emotion. Notice the difference between saying, I'm angry versus I'm feeling anger. One ties your identity to the emotion, while the other reminds you that it's temporary. Anger, sadness, or fear, they're just visitors. They knock on your door, but they don't get to move in and take over the house. Naming your emotions creates space to respond rather than react. And third, move forward with values, not moods. This is the heart of emotional agility. Too often we let how we feel dictate what we do. I don't feel like working out, so I won't. I feel nervous, so I won't apply for that job. But when you act only on mood, life becomes unpredictable. Emotional agility means asking, what do I value? Who do I want to be in this moment? You might feel fear, but if you value growth, you take the step anyways. You might feel tired, but if you value health, you still choose to move your body. Emotional agility doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger. It allows you to live with authenticity even when emotions run high. It allows you to stand in the middle of life's storms and know this may bend me, but it will not break me. Stop fighting your emotions or drowning in them. Instead, practice noticing them, creating space, and choosing values over moods. Because when you master emotional agility, you no longer fear the storm. You become the tree that bends and sways and ultimately grows deeper roots through every challenge. And that is how you build a life not ruled by emotions, but guided by wisdom. We are living in one of the most exciting times in history. A time when the tools we once dreamed of are now available at the tap of a finger. A time when artificial intelligence can help you write, plan, learn, organize, create, even change your life. But here's the catch. AI can assist your growth, but it can't live your life for you. You still have to show up. AI is not here to replace your effort. It's here to amplify it. It's not a substitute for discipline, vision, or character. It's a tool. And like any tool, it's only as powerful as the hand that wields it. Some people are afraid of it. Others are overwhelmed. But the ones who thrive, they're the ones who embrace it, without forgetting who they are and what they bring to the table. You see, AI can help you brainstorm ideas, but it can't birth your passion. It can organize your schedule, but it can't make you get out of bed. It can answer questions, but it won't replace the lessons you learned through struggle, failure, and persistence. Growth still belongs to the doer, not just the dreamer. This is the era of the co-pilot, not the autopilot. AI can help you build a plan, but it's your job to take the first step. It can help you rehearse that speech, but it's your voice that has to rise in front of the room. It can write out your meal plan, your workout, your strategy, but it's your sweat, your hunger, and your belief that brings it all to life. So let's be clear. The winners of tomorrow are the ones who learn how to combine intelligence and initiative, who lean on AI not because they're lazy, but because they want to go further, faster, and smarter. They're the ones who realize that the future is a partnership between human drive and digital power. So if you've been stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure how to move forward, this is your invitation. Use the tools, use the tech, use the knowledge, but don't you dare sit back and wait for something or someone to save you. Growth doesn't come from convenience, it comes from action. Imagine writing a book with AI as your research assistant, launching a business with AI as your strategist, improving your mindset with AI, helping you track your goals, habits, and breakthroughs. See, this isn't science fiction, it's here today. And it's available to you, not just the wealthy or the elite or the tech savvy, but to anyone willing to learn, adapt, and do the work. But listen up, because AI won't make you better, it'll reveal who you already are. If you're lazy, it'll help you cut corners. If you're hungry, it'll help you chase down your dreams with fire and focus. So ask yourself, what are you feeding the system? Because what you put in determines what you get out. AI can help you break limits, but only after you stop making excuses. We used to say, I don't have the resources. Well, that excuse is gone. Or we'd say, I don't know where to start. Not anymore. Or I'd say, I can't afford to hire help. Well, now you have tools that can teach, guide, and grow with you. The real question is, will you use them? The future is here, not to carry you, but to walk beside you. So build, create, train, transform. The days of making excuses is over. Confidence isn't something you build from scratch. It's not something you're born with or something only a few lucky people get to have. Confidence isn't this rare gem that you have to go searching for out in the world. Confidence is already inside of you. You don't need to build it, you need to remember it. Because at one point in your life, you were confident without even thinking about it. Remember when you were a kid? You didn't overthink everything. You didn't question if you were good enough to play, to speak up, to try. You danced when you wanted to dance. You asked questions without worrying if they were dumb. You tried things just because they looked fun. You weren't afraid of failing because you hadn't been taught to fear yet. That version of you is still there. Maybe quieter now, maybe buried under years of doubt, criticism, and failure. But it's there. And confidence isn't about becoming something new, it's about returning to who you were before the world told you who you should be. Somewhere along the line, life taught you to doubt yourself. Maybe someone made fun of you. Maybe you tried and failed. Maybe you compared yourself to someone else and decided you didn't measure up. That's where the disconnect happened. Not because you lost your confidence, but because you forgot it. So now the work is about remembering. It's about remembering your strength, remembering your resilience, remembering all the times you thought you wouldn't make it, but did. Confidence isn't just about standing tall when everything is going right. It's about remembering who you are even when everything feels uncertain. Confidence doesn't come from avoiding fear. It comes from walking through it. It comes from doing the thing even when your voice shakes or your knees tremble. The more you face fear, the more you remember that you're capable. Confidence grows when you keep promises to yourself. When you say, I'm going to do this, and then you follow through, even if it's messy. You don't have to move mountains, you just have to move forward. Confidence doesn't require perfection, it requires repetition. You don't need to wait for some magical day when you feel ready. That day rarely comes. What actually builds your confidence is acting in spite of fear. Taking the step, having the conversation, raising your hand and owning your value. And when the voice of doubt creeps in, remind yourself, this fear doesn't mean I'm not ready, it means I'm growing. Here's a powerful practice. Start collecting evidence of your strength. Write it down, every win, every risk you took, every time you got back up. Build a memory bank of proof that you are stronger than you think. And when doubt shows up, you go back to that list and remember, I've done hard things before. I can do this too. Confidence doesn't come from applause, it comes from alignment. When your actions match your values. When you show up for yourself. When you stop needing permission and start giving yourself a chance. So no, confidence isn't built like a house. It's not pieced together brick by brick from the outside. It's remembered, reclaimed, and reawakened. Because it was always in you. You just got distracted by the noise. So silence the noise. Remember who you are and show the world, not because you need approval, but because you finally remembered the truth. The mirror is honest. It shows you your reflection, the skin, the scars, the weight, the wrinkles, the tired eyes. It doesn't sugarcoat, it doesn't flatter. It gives you a snapshot of what's on the outside. But don't be fooled. Because while the mirror doesn't lie, it also doesn't tell the whole truth. It doesn't show the battles you fought just to stand where you are today. It doesn't show the nights you stayed strong when everything around you was falling apart. And it doesn't show the discipline you've been building, the self-control you're working on, the courage it took just to start. The mirror shows your reflection, but it can't show your resilience. It doesn't see how hard you're trying. It doesn't see the pain you're healing from. It doesn't see the moments you chose growth over comfort when no one was watching. And that's the danger. Too many people judge their entire worth by what they see in the mirror. They see extra weight and call themselves lazy. They see gray hairs and call themselves old. They see tired eyes and call themselves broken. But let me remind you, a mirror can only show you one version of you. It can't reflect your heart, it can't measure your progress, and it can't capture your potential. So when you stand in front of it, don't look for judgment, look for accountability. Ask yourself, am I moving in the direction of the person I want to become? Not, do I look perfect? Not, am I where I think I should be by now? Just, am I showing up for myself today? Because real growth is not always visible. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs happen long before they show on the surface. Like choosing water over soda, getting out of bed instead of hitting snooze, saying no to that toxic relationship, and saying yes to yourself, maybe for the first time in years. The mirror can't show those things, but you can feel them. So don't let a piece of glass tell you who you are. Let your habits tell the story. Let your mindset shape your identity. Let your actions build your confidence. You are not failing just because you don't see instant results. The person you're becoming, the life you're building, it's growing in silence, like roots before a tree ever breaks the surface. When the reflection doesn't match your vision, keep going. When you feel stuck or unseen, keep going. When you're tempted to quit because it doesn't look like it's working, keep going. Because you are more than what you see in the mirror. The discipline behind closed doors, the quiet strength when nobody claps, and the tears you wiped away before walking into work like nothing was wrong. That's who you are. So yes, the mirror is honest, but it's not complete. And neither are you yet. But you're becoming, you're rebuilding, you're rising. And that version of you, the one that's growing in the background, that's the one the mirror can't reflect just yet. But you know they're coming. So until then, take what the mirror gives you, but look deeper, because you hold the full truth, and that truth has yet to be revealed. There comes a moment in life when you feel stuck, Maybe you've outgrown your current situation. Maybe a path you once followed no longer inspires you. Or maybe you've built an identity around something that no longer serves you. In that moment, you have two choices. You can stay where you are, or you can evolve into something greater. Reinvention isn't about abandoning who you are. It's about expanding into who you were always meant to be. It's about recognizing that your past does not define your future and that transformation is always possible. Some people fear change, believing it signals failure. But the real failure is staying the same when you know you were meant for more. Reinvention is a natural part of life. Look at the seasons. Nothing stays the same. Trees let go of their leaves in the fall, not because they failed, but because shedding the old makes way for the new. And the same applies to you. Growth requires change, and sometimes that means letting go of an outdated version of yourself so that something greater can take its place. Throughout history, civilizations have adapted, rebuilt, and reinvented themselves. Those who resisted change faded into the past, while those who embraced reinvention thrived. The same principle applies on a personal level. Those willing to evolve will always find new doors opening before them. So why do so many people hesitate to reinvent themselves? Because it's uncomfortable. Change is uncertain. It requires stepping into the unknown. But ask yourself, what's more terrifying? Taking a risk to grow, or looking back years from now and realizing you let fear keep you from becoming your best self? Many people tell themselves they're too old, too far behind, or it's too late. These are just excuses disguised as logic. Reinvention doesn't have an expiration date. It's not reserved for the young or those who have it all figured out. It's for anyone who's willing to start. Reinvention isn't about making one dramatic shift overnight. It's about making intentional choices that lead to transformation. Here's how to begin. First, embrace discomfort. Growth never happens inside the comfort zone, so reinvention is meant to challenge you. If it feels uncomfortable, that's the sign that you're on the right path. Second, let go of the old identity. Sometimes we cling to roles, relationships, or habits that no longer serve us. You are not your job. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the person you were yesterday. The moment you release the outdated version of yourself, you create space for something new to emerge. Third, take small, consistent steps. Reinvention doesn't happen in a single leap. It happens in the daily choices you make. Read a book, learn a new skill, change a habit, shift your environment. Small actions repeated over time create massive transformation. Fourth is surround yourself with growth-minded people. The people around you influence your mindset. Surround yourself with those who challenge you to become better, not those who keep you tied to who you used to be. And number 5 is believe in the future you haven't met yet. The most important part of reinvention is belief. It's a belief that your best days are ahead of you, not behind you. You may not know exactly what's coming, but trust that you are capable of stepping into something greater. Every choice you make today is shaping the future version of you. You are never stuck. People stay stuck not because they can't change, but because they believe they can't. But you are not rooted in one place. You are not bound by your past. You can grow, you can evolve, you can reinvent yourself. If you feel like you've reached a dead end, maybe it's not the end at all. Maybe it's the beginning of a new version of you.